Small group instruction can be efficiently and effectively implemented when done so with intentionality. Let's begin with the why. Why should we consider small group instruction? The following quote comes from an article discussing ways in which to make small group instruction effective. It reads, small group instruction usually follows whole group instruction to reinforce or reteach specific skills and concepts and provides a reduced student-teacher ratio. We should look at small group instruction as a means for students to practice and make meaning of the content or concepts being taught. Students need these opportunities as they work towards mastery. On the screen, you will see some benefits of small group instruction. Personalized instruction for students, provide students timely and actionable feedback, provide additional support and time for students to practice and make meaning, provide opportunities for students to collaborate with peers. If you're interested in reading more, you will find the article linked here and within the module. Oftentimes, blended learning practices can be oversimplified by educators, especially when discussing what blended learning models and practices could look like during small group instruction. It is easy to say, oh, yeah, I do blended learning. My students use their devices and learning management platforms in my class. But what does it really mean to successfully put blended learning into practice? It is important to note that when implementing intentionally, blended learning is powerful in impacting student success, all while personalizing learning. During this session or this recording, we will discuss various models and their accompanying practices for small group instruction here in ABSS. Many times, blended learning models and practices um, terms are used interchangeably, yet they are all quite different. These models and practices will be a focus during this recording, so we will all be on the same page and remain mindful of what models and practices may work best for us and our students in our blended learning classrooms. So we will go over modified flipped with instructional videos and accountability, station rotation with digital choice boards, individual rotation with digital playlists, and flex with digital pathways. Right? So let's talk about this chart you'll see here. So you'll see the model, the practice, and then examples. Okay, so for modified flipped with instructional videos with accountability, how could we leverage something like Edpuzzle or YouTube and Google Forms? With station rotation and digital choice boards, there are some examples of what those look like. We'll go a little bit deeper. And you can also think about using those Google LTI assignments, individual rotation with digital playlists, flex with digital pathways. So we want to talk a little bit about the practices. Okay, so digital choice boards. These is where students self-select tasks to complete independently. Digital playlists or Canvas module requirements. This is where the students' tasks are structured, scaffolded, sequential, and focused on standards mastery, kind of thinking through what we know about Blooms. And then digital pathways and our Canvas mastery paths, there's a bit more with student voice and choice and tasks that lead to mastery, and it's sequential as well. So let's go through and talk about each. So, modified flipped allows teachers to maximize their time supporting student learning during class time by creating an instructional video to deliver their presentation or lecture to students. The teacher would then provide students class time to view the video and complete an accompanying task to ensure accountability. With traditional flipped instruction, students would watch the instructional video before attending class. Yet what we know is we cannot assume our students will do just that. So, in order to get ahead of this happening, intentionally provide time for students to view the video during class and act as a facilitator of learning during the independent or collaborative student task that accompanies the video. How might we design and assign students an accompanying task to ensure accountability? On the screen, you will see some ideas of ways to include accountability with a video, whether it be printed or digital, comprehension questions, personal reflections, discussions with peer reviews, or quizzes and informal assessments. Station rotation is one of the more known and implemented blended learning models. Station rotation allows students to rotate through both online and offline stations on a teacher-directed fixed schedule. Students may be rotating in teams or groups to complete online and offline tasks, while the teacher facilitates instruction with a small group of students simultaneously. Because the teacher directs the station schedule with this model, it is best coupled with digital choice boards. Choice boards allow students to self-select tasks to complete independently. Here you will see an example of a choice board. With this example, during small group reading instruction, each week students are provided with a digital choice board that contains 8 choices of tasks. By the end of the week, students are to have completed 5 of the 8 tasks. You will see that the stars indicate tasks that must be completed by the end of the week, yet students still have choice as to when to complete them by the deadline, as well as which additional tasks they may complete. Choice boards may include various tasks for students to practice and make meaning within one content area, meaning it is not suggested to create a choice board that includes both ELA and math, or focus on one standard if you wish to do so. This example shows various ELA content that students may benefit from additional practice with. Linked, you will see a template to create your own digital choice board if you would like to do so. Individual rotation is a blended learning model that allows students to independently progress through online and offline tasks on their playlists. Tasks on the playlist are structured, scaffolded, sequential, and focused on centers mastery and selected based on student need. Students may be independently or collaboratively progressing through their playlist, which may include online and offline tasks, while the teacher facilitates instruction with a small group of students simultaneously. Students will more than likely work on completing the tasks within the playlist throughout the duration of the week. Since this model suggests students are working on structured, scaffolded, and sequential tasks, digital playlists are the practice that accompanies this model. Here you will see an example of a digital playlist. The standard and learning outcomes are clearly stated, and an instructional video is embedded for students to review and refer to as needed while completing tasks. All tasks within the playlist are focused on the same standard or skill. Tasks are also scaffolded, thinking through what we know about blooms. How could students explore, explain, apply, and to create to show what they know and are able to do? You will also see that all tasks are embedded within one slide deck for students. This way, they are not navigating back and forth to complete tasks if at all possible. This is also efficient for the teacher as they will have one place to review completed tasks and provide feedback within. Digital playlists can be created with intentional planning using a Google Slides as previously shown, or with Canvas module requirements in our secondary classrooms. Within Canvas, there is the ability to set module requirements so that students must complete tasks before moving ahead. There is also a feature that will lock content until requirements are completed. To learn more about Canvas module requirements, access the link to the PD archive for additional details. The Flex model can incorporate elements of all other modules and provide students with a high degree of control over their learning. With this model, the teacher acts as a facilitator, providing support and guidance just in time in order to personalize learning for students. This module is best paired with digital pathways. Based on formal, informal, and/or observational data collected by the teacher, a pathway is designed and assigned that provides students voice and choice in how they progress towards mastery. Though the path a student selects may differ, the tasks all have the same learning outcomes. In this example, you will notice that tasks are embedded within the same slide deck so that students do not have to navigate outside the deck if at all possible. You will also notice that the tasks are structured, sequential, and scaffolded, keeping blooms in mind. Yet students decide which of the tasks they will complete. It is not recommended to begin implementing this practice if you have not introduced other blended learning practices to your students, such as digital student independent tasks with choice embedded, digital choice boards, or playlists. Since pathways are a combination of all of these, students may find it difficult to independently navigate a pathway when support and scaffolds have not been put into place first. Digital pathways can be created with intentional planning using a Google Slide as previously shown, or with Canvas Mastery Paths in our secondary classrooms. Mastery Paths allow you to customize learning experiences for students based on performance. You can enable Mastery Paths to automatically assign coursework based on the score achieved for a previous assignment. A Mastery Path originates from an assignment assigned to everyone, such as a pre-assessment or an introductory assignment. After the assignment has been graded, either manually or automatically, the student scores designate which conditional items they are assigned or can access within the mastery path. To learn more about Canvas module requirements, access the links provided in this module for additional details. When thinking about what small group instruction using blended learning models may look like in your classroom, this image may be helpful. If you are just beginning to consider small group instruction, these two recommendations are a good starting point. With a true group recommendation, how could half of your class be working on a digital independent task, such as an instructional video with accountability, while you meet with the other half of your class for targeted instruction? With a three group recommendation, how could you form three groups of students so that simultaneously the teacher is facilitating targeted instruction, a group is working independently on online tasks, while another group may be working collaboratively on offline tasks? In addition to implementing a blended learning model in an accompanying practice, teachers must also consider ways in which to manage their classroom during small group instruction. Linked here are some resources that may be helpful when thinking about managing a classroom during small group instruction. Teachers may find that when first implementing, it may seem as if students will not be successful, yet with intentional planning, grit and perseverance, reflection and refinements, teachers can successfully implement these models in order to impact student learning in their blended learning classrooms.